Well, hello, everyone. Happy Sensational Sunday. Yes, it's time for another haul. My name is Jen from Jen Gems and Vintage Finds. And today I have some things that I'm excited to show you guys here on for my Tuesday live sale. Needless to say, some of the things that I got today, I literally, or actually over the weekend, I haven't even had a chance to even assess yet. So I'm excited to over the next maybe day or so to get through that. But hi, how you doing, Deborah? Um, for those of you, I know that you guys were at Leslie's, and most of you are coming over to here to my channel, and some of you are new. So I wanted to welcome everybody. Hi, Christina. I'm by myself today, so just bear with me as I watch the chat and go back and forth a little bit. Joe's normally the one that kind of helps me out with these, but Sundays is the day that I allow my time with you guys one-on-one, which is kind of a nice feature to do. I don't do it that often, at least during the week, because it's hard when we're doing a sale to ask questions and things like that. So, so this is my time to spend with you guys. So I'm going to show you kind of the things I'm going to show you today are probably from my state sale shopping. Hi, Dina. Hi, Peanut Pony. The other things I have, I'm going to try to go through those as the weeks progress. I mean, I bought a lot of jewelry over the last 2 days, needless to say, so I can't exactly have it all ready in one day for you guys. I know I have to assess it. I got to test it. I got to do a whole bunch of things. So, but just bear with us as we go through this process. And for those of you who are somewhat new here, if you're not familiar with my channel, currently, my big news, if you're new here, and for those of you who don't know, I work full-time at my local hospital. I work in the emergency department. I work in registration. My big news is that I am now going to be leaving that job as of August 8th, which is 2 weeks from this Friday. So, needless to say, then on August 10th, on Sunday, was our probably be our first. We're going to do 2 shows a week. So if you're only used to coming on Tuesdays, also know that I'm going to probably be doing the Sunday afternoon slot, somewhere between anywhere from before Tanya comes on at night. So basically Dina's old slot. If you guys are familiar with Dina from That Girl Dina Marie, I'm probably going to be doing a Sunday afternoons. We work better. Joe and I work better on the afternoons. So no problem, Leslie. No problem. Hi, Jane. Hi, Diane. Hi, Catherine. Hi. Yeah, so I'm excited to do that. I'm going to go be a YouTube seller, at least full time. Maybe not as seamless as Leslie does it over there, but needless to say, I'm excited to be on here and to make this transition to full-time reselling and being here on content. I have to be a little bit better on creating more content, but I do notice that I just looked at, as I log in, I'm not one of those people that look at numbers, quote unquote numbers a lot. But when I see that last time I looked, I think it was at 816 subscribers. And today I just looked and it was 836. So that's 20 subscribers in like the last week. So I'm very happy about that. So each one of you mean the world to both my husband and myself. So we are seeing the growth. And as I know that I'm more on, YouTube as far as being present and known. I appreciate all this love and support each and one of you give us all the time. So, hi, Leonor, how are you? And Leonor, if you don't mind, I know Leslie's doing invoicing. I know she's real busy. I know, and we love Leonor. Everybody in the YouTube community loves Leonor. She's very lovely lady, and she also is spends a lot of her own personal time to share and promote channels. And so please, 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 everybody, subscribe to Leonor. I can't say enough about this lovely lady. She spends all her days going to a lot of these community sales and events, and she shares the love and these links. And I just want to say kudos to her for doing that, because that's a lot of work, and we don't ask a thing from her. So I just want to give you a little heads up about Leonor. If everybody hasn't seen her channels, please subscribe to Leonor. Hi, Deborah. Hi, Teresa. Hi, Heidi. So, so again, this is one-on-one between you guys and me. My husband's not here in the room, even though he can probably be watching this, but you know, this is the way that you guys have access to me as I go through my a little bit of what's going to be coming up for Tuesday. And 3 weeks, I guess, from today will be my first Sunday sale. So I'm kind of excited as we go through this process to get there. So 3 more weeks and you guys will have me full time. So hello, Tammy. Hi, Ocean Breeze. You're new here, I think, aren't you? I think you are. And for those of the new people here, I've never been to my channel. I wanted to welcome you guys. This is a safe community, a community that grows with one another, and we all share the love and share the respect. At least I hope to think so. Needless to say, if you're new and you like to participate on Tuesday, tonight we're probably just going to be doing chit chat and showing and telling and having some good times. That's what weekends are for. And needless to say, I like that. So yeah, so please welcome everybody. Welcome Ocean Breeze to our community. And please, if you like to send me your information, Ocean Breeze and anybody else who's new, you just send me an email to jensgemsfinds@gmail.com. I pinned my email to the top of the chat. You would need your name, your YouTube name, your complete mailing address, your phone number, and your PayPal information. If you're familiar with the process, most of these people can fill you in. I do invoicing, at least how I do it now. I have my shows on Tuesday afternoons. We're going to do a preview, kind of the things that I'm going to show tonight. I don't do any pre-selling on my channel. I know everybody has their own rules, and what they do on their own channel is what they do. On my channel, I do just the haul here, and we talk about the items a little bit, or I give you a preview of other things. And then come Tuesday, we will then show the items. It goes up on the auction block. If you physically cannot be here on Tuesday and you would like to leave a bid on something that I'm showing, I will give you all the information prior to Tuesday. I'm like one of those people that I like to show items. Here's what I'm going to show. If you're going to see the thing, if you want to know what it's about, send me an email at jensgemsfinds@gmail.com. Give me a timestamp or a description of the product that I'm talking about. And then I'll be happy to tell you everything about it, what the starting bid's going to be on the item. So if you physically cannot be here Tuesday, you say, Jen, I want this item. You said you're going to start it at $60 and I want to bid up to $80. And I do, increments of $1 increments up to 20, $2 increments after $20. And then when we get to 50, $5 and up from there. So that gives you guys an idea of how it works. If you can't, like I said, can't physically be here for whatever reason, so I do my shows at 1 p.m. Central Time on Tuesday. So hi, Nancy, how are you? So I do 1 p.m. Central on Tuesday. So I know it's in the afternoon. Some people work, some people have appointments, whatever it be. But I make it accommodating for everybody to be here. And they can, that way it's, the way I do it right now is it seems to work out for everybody and they understand that. But I'm very accessible is what I'm trying to say. You see me in a lot of the other people's chats, other people's sales. If there ever a question on something, I just had Deborah actually says, send me an email speaking about how fast I was. She was asking me about a necklace she got and she wanted to know something about it. Saw the email. I gave her an answer. If I'm home and I'm able to do it, I will give you an answer as best as I can. So I'm always accessible to everybody. I've never been one to say, oh, I can't do that, I'm not busy. Or if I'm on vacation, of course, that's one thing. But needless to say, if I'm home and I have to send me pictures of stuff and say, what do you think, Jen? I'm going to do my best to help you. That's the way I am. Okay. So, and you can, like Ocean Breeze, I know you're new here and you're trying to figure out what's going on here. This is what we do in the community. We chit chat a lot. We have a good time looking at jewelry. Since you guys are seeing all these things behind me on my set, the things you see behind me, if something's catching your eye back here, I normally when I have my live sales, I'll pull down these busts and kind of break them apart if most of you guys have seen it. Those are things I've already shown on previous sales. So if you watch any of my previous sales and you say, Jenny, I want to know about this, the cyan bracelet back here or something like that, you can bring that up on a previous video and you can see it. Okay. So, or when I'm into a live sale, I can actually bring up some of these things and show them to you. Okay. But what we're doing tonight, we're just going to show the new things. And again, we're not selling tonight. We're just going to talk about them. And then if you guys got any questions along the way, I appreciate Tanya giving all the resellers a heads up that she wasn't going to be, and I hope she's having a wonderful vacation, that I have time to talk with you guys tonight. normally I kind of in a little bit of an hour window, usually when I come home from work I have every other weekend off. So this weekend I was off. So this tonight I have all the rest of the evening to chat with you guys, which is kind of nice. And hope you get to know me better. If you have any questions along the way, just ask, shout, or anything like that. If I miss anybody in the chat, I'm by myself right now because this is my time to spend with you, and we will move forward. So let's go, and this is how we do it. All right, a little bit about me, since I know I have a new Ocean Breeze, and most of these people know this as well. I'm a graduate gemologist. I went to the GIA, which is the Gemological Institute of America, in 1994. So after that, I worked in the jewelry industry for 26 years. And since then, I also went back to college again and got another degree in healthcare management. So when people say, well, why are you working in the emergency room when you have a gemological degree? Yes, I have both. So I'm multi-rounded in multi-different ways. So I decided to go back to college to get a different kind of background, and that's what I did. So if you have so I can ask, I always say to my patients when I talk to them, I say, if you haven't got jewelry questions, ask me. And when I've talked to my jewelry friends, you guys got a copay question, ask me too. So anyway, but that's another story for another day. I just decided that after 6 years being in the hospital, it's getting too much. And I love this because I started this channel 2 years ago this month. So 2 years, guys, I've got about 836 people who subscribe to this channel. We will get to 1,000. I'm not worried about it. To me, each one of you mean the world to me and to my husband. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. This is my brainchild of my husband, why I started this channel. Okay. So hopefully you guys understand that. And most of you guys have. And it's been a good ride. And I still look forward to seeing the future. And for those of you who come to the channel and say, what is that hanging up on the wall? That was my graduation cap in 2019 before I started working at the hospital. So that was my actual cap I wore for graduation. It says, leave a little sparkle wherever you go. And that's my motto. I always think that you should bring a little bit of yourself and leave it anywhere you go in life. And so hopefully I'm doing that for you guys on a daily basis when you come and spend time at our channel. We have fun here. It's a safe place. And again, hopefully you guys have a good time. So I like to talk a lot, as Leslie can attest. So I try to stay focused. And so I'm going to try to stay focused. So yes. Hi, Amy. Hi, Leanne. I'm going to make sure I get everybody. Hi, Jello. How you doing? Yes. So yes. And nice to have you here, Ocean Breeze. Again, thank you for being here. And all the new register people, if you like to register with me prior to Tuesday, we like to get all the registrations in on email prior to Tuesday's auction. That way you don't hold up the process. So send your information to jensgemsfinds@gmail.com. We also do giveaways, have some fun times. And so if I don't have your information, I can't mail you your possible free piece. So I want to make sure we have your information. Okay. Any questions along the way, let me know. All right. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up. I got 25 people here and only 9 thumbs up. So the thumbs up, the love, show the love, please. And anybody who's Blue Wrench, Leonor is very good about sharing the other sellers' channels as we go through it. So you found a wedding band, Jello. Oh, good. I'm so happy for you. I tried finding something. I did not find it. So I'm happy you found it. She was on the hunt for an eternity ring. I'm glad you found one. Okay. Yes. Please hit the thumbs up and let's rock and roll. All right. Here we go. And I use a mouse camera. I use a mouse versus a phone on my channel. So if everybody's kind of deals with it as I do it, I use an Osbot camera. So sometimes it's voice commanded as well. So sometimes it gets kind of a little daunting. So I'm a firm believer electronics need coffee breaks like humans do. So sometimes it acts up on me. It's like a little kid. All right, here we go. So what are we looking at, Jen? Well, as you guys know, for those of you who don't know, I don't know where everybody is. I mean, as far as I do know their addresses, but I live in the Panhandle of Florida. If you're familiar with the state of Florida, I am the Panhandle up near Destin. If you look in the map, we're known for our white sandy beaches and our emerald green blue waters here. So I usually have access to a lot of things that maybe people around the United States don't usually have. In this case, this is something that's very unusual. This is something called, if I'm going to pronounce it correctly, it's called Aluhanus Luhuanus lily shell. Okay, and I'm going to zoom in on this a little bit so you can see it. This is 28 inches long. If I can do this close up. And maybe I can do it. These are almost like, if you guys are familiar with, like in jewelry, we see the Shiva eye shells, but these are like shaped like lilies. See how they're kind of like a cone, and then they have, and these are shells. And then in between, we have the pearl elliptical black mother of pearl. Yeah, this might help you out a little bit too. Let me show you that. Elliptical beads. Look at that. No clasp. Isn't this beautiful? This is all Mother Nature. I'm a firm believer about Mother Nature's beautiful in gemstones, shells, coral, anything that's going to be from Mother Nature. I love that. And actually, these are very pricey. They're called Leo. I'm gonna spell it again. Luhuanus, called lily shells. They're in the conch family. So if you guys are familiar with pink conch, you guys might see this on the screen. Do you see the pink inside the shell? See? So very unique shaped piece. So, hi Bruce, how you doing? Hi Jen B. I'm by myself, so if I miss anybody, just bear with me. Hi Greta. I think you're new at my channel as well. Welcome everybody. Welcome Greta and Ocean Breeze are new here today. Hi Sunray. Hi Catherine. Hi Teresa. And oh, there you go. Now Deborah's okay, if everybody doesn't know who Deborah is, I'm sure everybody does, but Deborah Slacken-Schulman, she does a lot of research. Doesn't you work in a library or something? But she loves to give us research on things. So if I don't know something, Deborah asks me a question. If I don't know something, I ask Deborah a question. So she always does that. And then I also know I have a Sarah, I think, is that right? Sarah from Leslie's channel, she's learning about gems. So we all work together as a team. But anyway, this is 28 inches long, over the head, mother of pearl. And I just think that this is beautiful. And I just had to pick this up because I love to get vintage coral pieces. I like to get vintage shell pieces. And this is just something that is phenomenal. I think it was an awesome thing. So I just have it on the bust because it's delicate. I have it on a black bust right now. I usually don't like to have velvet on the screen because it gets a little dusty. All right. So again, this is going to just have you guys, just to give you an idea. I will give you guys starting bids if you want, but I'm not doing any selling tonight. This is a preview for Tuesday. This is going to have a starting bid of 60, just so you guys know. Okay. All right. Moving on. Let me get this out of the way. I've got things all over the place here. And everybody share your channels. Everybody's blue wrenched. So we'll have everybody share the love. I don't know if Sarah's here or not, Leslie. I don't know. She's not. Yep. And then I know Leslie just got done with her little pop-up sale. So you had a great sale, Leslie. Of course, we all love that. Love Leslie. We're going to get her to Spain with no worries in mind that she did all the work before she can go on vacation. I love that. All right, here we go. This is the next one I have. Now, some of these pieces, this is one that I took out of my personal collection. Sometimes Jenny goes through things and acquires things and says, I'm going to have something to possibly pass on to the next person. This is a cameo that I acquired somewhere in my career. I don't wear it. I do not wear this cameo, okay? But I want you to look at the detail of the carving of the roses in her hair. Am I wrong? This is Athena. I believe that it could be Athena. Here, look at that. See the relief? When I'm talking about the height. Here's the back. And it is signed. It has a signature in there. I cannot make out the signature, but it has the carver's signature in the shell. Okay. I'm trying to be careful this not drop it. Now, the metal is rolled gold. It's not a solid like it's not gold filled, it's like a rolled gold. So basically it's like a thin layer of uh, gold over a base metal, believe it or not. Because when I test it, it doesn't even on gold filled jewelry, a piece that if it's gold filled should hold the acid for at least a little bit of time. This eats right through it. But it's beautiful. Look at, let me see if I can do this again. No bail for a pendant, but you could put something on the back bar. But let me see. Sorry. Look at the hand engraving on this. It's just phenomenal. So it's 2 inches by 1 3/4. The pin catch, I believe, has been replaced. So I believe this is old. I think this is probably from approximately around, I would say 1910 to 1920, I would guess. It could even be older than that. But that would be my estimate. The pin catch is a little smoothie. It's like it doesn't want to catch. So if you have a little, I haven't put Loctite or anything in here. I just wanted to leave it the way it is. But this will be up for sale come Tuesday for auction. She's gorgeous. Okay, so that one. Okay, so all right. Did I miss anything? What I'm by myself, everybody. So bear with me a second. Normally my husband keeps me on track with what's going on. So hi, Miss Callie. Nice to see you. Hello, Curry. And Curry's daughter. Can I say, Curry, what happened? May I say that? Can I tell people what happened, Curry, with your daughter this weekend? Or let me know. Okay. So Curry's daughter, she's in college at NYU. She's graduating from NYU. And Curry, tell us who I'm calling. Who's Curry? Cherished Relics Boutique. If you haven't checked out her channel, she's in Pennsylvania. Her daughter was in the, I get this correctly, the Collegiate National Ice Skating Championships. And it was taking place actually near my hometown in Chicago area. So she placed 3rd in all the United States, her daughter, yesterday. So congratulations to your daughter, Curry. That's a phenomenal feat. So, oh, she already graduated. I'm sorry. Well, I'm sorry. So, yeah. And look at this. Now this is 14 karat gold, and this is Boulder Opal. This is from Australia. Okay. Now you're asking me, Jenny, what is Boulder Opal? Okay. So Boulder Opal, this is natural opal from Australia. And let me get this in a little bit fit there. Okay. So this is natural opal, crystal opal from Australia. Okay. And then it forms within petrified wood, which then turns into ironstone. Sandstone that turns ironstone, like petrified wood. So think of opal kind of dripping down and then crystallizing when it was forming within the Earth's crust. Okay. And then it forms within this host rock, and it's called ironstone. That's why you see, if you turn it over, you see this brown. Okay. Now, if you turn over an opal piece and it's black on the back, and that could be what we call, if it doesn't have a mottled appearance, such as gray with black or like a grayish stone, if it looks all black, that means it's a doublet. And what does that mean, Jenny? Doublet means is they take a seam of opal, they cut it really thin, and then to stabilize it, they assemble it to a black, usually onyx or black glass, and then they assemble it together like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. This is how it's formed in the ground. So they take the host rock and then they cut the stone with that host rock with it. This is more valuable, is what I'm trying to get at. Okay. Now, this has a diamond in it. It has a Singapore chain attached to it. Just giving you guys a heads up. Isn't that beautiful? Comes a 14 karat gold chain, since I have it in the box. Sorry about my focus. It goes that. Okay. The chain is, let me just write, it's 18 inches long, I believe. Oh, sorry, 16 inches long. 16 inches long Singapore. It's going to have that beautiful pendant on it. And it came with the original box. I got this from the estate. So this is the box that came in. If you want the box, I'll give you the box, but that's how I got it. And beautiful. Boulder Opal. Australian Boulder Opal. And opals, in our world, when you look on TV, they're camera shy. Opals look the best in sunlight. So I know I've got two lights going on here, and you're seeing almost looks like the ocean. That's only the color. That's what our color. That's our water color right here in Dustin. So anyway, they will have that for sale. All right. All right. If I'm missing any chat, everybody keep me on track because I'm by myself. All right. Now, the other piece of opal. Now, this is a whole different avenue here. Came from the same estate. Okay. This is an enhancer. Now, I just showed you what Boulder opal looks like, right? This is Australian crystal opal. And see, there's no back on this one, right? But I want you to notice, if I can get this in a way to show you, this is thick. This is really thick for an opal. Opals are really thin. Look how thick that is. Okay. And look at the fire you're seeing. I know, and here, let me show you like that. See, you guys can see the greens, the blues. And this is an enhancer. It has a diamond right there. And it has this called an enhancer. When you can clip this on pearls, you can unclip it and put it between on some beads. If you have a nice opal strand of beads, if you're lucky to have one, look at that. And this is the size of it, so you can see it. I have my ring on, but beautiful. And again, opals are camera shy, but look at that fire. Okay, so that will be it. 14 karat gold. So, all right. Hi, Sarah, you made it. Oh, hello. I'm glad you could come. All right. We're just having, like I said, what I do on my channel, Sarah, a little bit different than maybe other folks do, but I just do a live interactive call. That way you guys along the way can ask questions and have anything that I like to be here. And then some of you have been asking me for trinket boxes. And I had to get these little lovebirds. Aren't they cute? And what's cute about this, let me show, I'm trying not to have this, but look at it. It's all blue and white enamel, kind of a Chinese oriental flare. Here's the bottom. Not sterling silver, just base metal, but here, look this. Now, if I open up the box, look, there's a mirror in it. So if you want to look at it yourself, you can. So you can put pills in there. You have this, but it's also you can use that to has a mirror inside of it. So that's nice, and that's a cool thing. So it's about 2 3/4 by 2 inches, but just porcelain. Little lovebirds. Aren't they cute? I don't know. I had to pick them up. All right. All right. Next. Thank you, Leslie. I appreciate you. Now, Leslie, this is up your alley, my dear. I saw these at the estate. This is a combination of what I call the people who my channel and a lot of people's channels, they love glass and they love gemstone. So this is a combination of both. Look at this. How could I have not left this behind? If you know what you're looking at. This is all hand done sterling silver work at the top. Then we have these actually test as glass, these little beads up here. I thought they possibly were like jade, but they test as glass. This is citrine, I believe. Yes. Yes. Clear quartz. Okay, clear quartz, maybe a little bit of yellow, maybe a citrine. And for those of you who don't know, quartz, when I say the word quartz is a gem. That's a family. It's a family of gems, okay? Or a species of gems. Some people use it that way. And in that category, people say, well, I've heard of amethyst. What is that? Well, quartz is then the family of the gemstone. That would be the family name. And then you have the variety name. That's what we call in gemology. The variety is what color is it, right? So this would be considered clear quartz. If it has yellow in it, it would be citrine. We call the variety name citrine. If it ends up being purple, amethyst. If it ends up being green or light, we call it prasiolite, which I know everybody wants to call it something else, and I won't. It's a little pet peeve of mine, but that's just me. And then here, then we go down to this beautiful. Look at these. Look at these glass beads. And if I'm correct on this, Leslie, we call this lamp work, right? When it's inside the bead, it's lamp work. If it's on the outside, it's called a wedding cake bead. When they do all the, this is on the inside of that bead. Look at all that work. And at the bottom, this is clear glass. So I just thought these were amazing. And I looked at them. I said, oh, that is very unusual. To usually, yeah. So no, so peridot is a whole different gemstone, Francis. Peridot would be a whole different gemstone. Yeah, so prasiolite is actually in the quartz family. So when we test it and somebody says, well, on the Presidium, it reads quartz. And if it's a light pale green, I think Leslie had one on her show earlier today. Like it was like a light mint green. Then that would be a prasiolite. I know it's hard to explain, but that's what it is. So, and see, you guys, I like when you guys put stuff in the chat because then it gets other people to like look at things, and that's good because that what I try to do at my channel. I tell everybody I am not the know-it-all for everything in life. I'll be honest with you. I am just not that person. I just bring my career of gemology to the channel, and I just usually what I use the word and use the term a lot on my channel is plant the seed. What I mean by that is that I give you guys the information, and then if you want to more dive deeper into specifics about, you know, different testing and different lures about gemstones, then you kind of can, oh, that's interesting. I did not know that. Or how to care for your jewelry. I think that's some people buy jewelry and they don't know what the hardness of the gemstone is. They don't know anything about how to, you know, they think that if it's, you know, they can wear it out gardening in their yard. I don't want people to destroy their jewelry if they don't, you know, I'll tell you exactly a little bit more how to take care of it. But needless to say, that's what I try to do. So, because you guys are very educated people, and I never say that I try to talk down to anybody in my channel. So hopefully you guys would agree with me on that. This is Crown Trifari. It is marked on the back, Crown Trifari. This is enamel floral brooch. I just liked it. I like the dimension of it. Probably from the 60s on here. So yes, Curry. Yeah. Yeah. So one thing I will say, if anybody owns, since I was speaking about opals, I didn't talk about it earlier when I was showing. Opals are very sensitive to temperature changes. So if you own any type of opal, be very careful to, when you wear it, to not go and take out your turkey, your freezer, or walk into a sauna with opals on. They don't like that very much. And they don't like changes in humidity. So if you go from a dry climate to a wet climate, got to be very, very careful. Opals are very sensitive about those things. These are freshwater pearls. Somebody was asking me to find some pearls, and these are what we call freshwater. What do I mean by that? These are grown in freshwater, of course, right? If these were Tahitian pearls, they would be a different shape. They would be more round and larger in size, so most likely, right? These are look like belly buttons, right? They're more flat. They're flat on top. And Leslie's been lucky enough to find some South Sea pearls on with her vendor that she gets. I've been hoping to find a South Sea Tahitian from her in a size 8, and she will be coming sometime. But these are still beautiful. They have a peacock color to them, sterling silver backs, and yeah. So, and my husband had these cards made up with just so I can show them on my card. So, yep. Never tested opal for sensitive. Yep, that's right, and that's another thing, Curry. Yep, you don't. They're just very sensitive to that. That's right. So yeah, so all ocean breeze, yes, they are sensitive. Now Ethiopian opals are hand mined up in higher elevations, up in the mountains. You guys are familiar with Australia, right? We have the outback in Australia, right? Opals typically are found beneath the ground in Australia, okay? Ethiopian opals, on the other hand, are found up in the mountains. I forgot the name of the mountain range, but they're actually up in the mountains. The locals with their mules, I believe, donkeys, go up in the mountains. They use a pickaxe to mine the opals, and they literally have to physically go up there and bring it down on a mule. Okay, so it's the different type of area in the world, right? We have Australia on one continent, then we go to Ethiopia, and that's flat, right? But then they have the mountain region over there, so they find it over there as well. So it's kind of an interesting dynamic with gemology and what you learn about different areas. And again, but Ethiopian opals are look more. They have a stronger flash, but they have almost like a watery appearance to them. If that makes sense. I guess again, you guys, I plant the seed, you guys look and do your research. Okay. So these are from a designer called Bora, Bora, Yasser, Yasar. I had a few of their rings. This is a designer I believe out of New York City. He's Turkish. He's a Turkish gentleman, and he makes his pieces one by hand, and his pieces actually go for a lot of money. I had 3 rings from this designer last week, and all of them sold. I also had a necklace that was made by this designer, and that necklace sold. So what you're looking at here, believe it or not, is all glass. But he does it in sterling silver with 24 karat gold accents over the sterling. Here's his signature right there. Bora. Okay. So look up Bora Yasser, Yasar. And if you want to know, these earrings go, believe it or not, this is what they go for. They go for about $500 on eBay. I'm not going to be near $500 on eBay. But aren't they beautiful? They're 3 inches long. Okay. All right. What am I missing? Again, I have to keep going back and forth here. Cooper Pedy. Yeah, Cooper Pedy. Yep, Cooper Pedy. Yep, that's the area of Australia. See, now you guys are sharing information. I like that. I like that. Now, again, you guys can do your own research. So if you wanted to go to read more about it or learn more about it, that's what I do. Try to just this. This is an Israeli piece. Still has the original sticker on it, made in Israel. And if you read the name, and not even hard to see, it's right there. It says Bat Ami, B-A-T, and then the second word is A-M-I, Bat Ami, Israel. The butterfly. He's sterling silver. I have not done anything to him. This is how I got him. I didn't want to touch him. Some people liked, this is, it's a brooch. Okay, it's a pin, but you could want to wear it on a torque or something. It's got a big, large piece there. You could just get the chain to go through. He is, or it is, he or she. The butterfly is 3 inches in diameter. It weighs about 25 grams. And I just left him the way he is. I thought it had a lot of character like this. I did see comps that somebody decided, the ones that I did see online were more polished, but I think I like having the character of the butterfly. I don't know. There's something about him that I just wanted to not touch him. So, yeah, it's signed right here, my dear. I'm going to show it to you. It's underneath the pin back, so give me a minute. It is signed, Catherine, right there, honey. Bat Amir. 925. There's a 925. Bat Amir. And made in Israel. Sorry if it's going to be out of focus. Okay. All right. All right. Speaking of butterflies. Abalone. And I don't know if she's here right now, but Jody from Jody's Jewels, she was talking about, coral and abalone. There is a moratorium on harvesting abalone for sure. And so finding anything that when I say comes from the ocean is going to get harder to find. So for those of you who are new to my channel, I don't never tell people what to buy. That's you guys buy what you love, right? That's the first thing in jewelry. Jewelry is a way to express yourself. It's a way to show what you love. It's a way that you love. Well, in this particular case, you want to wear a butterfly brooch, you can do that. But just the fact that these things are not going to be able to be found anymore, unless they're not currently either harvesting or mining something, those are things you just want to take in consideration for when you want to purchase something. As far as value is concerned, anything that, of course, is not going to be mined or sourced anymore, basically like that, we rely on finding vintage pieces, like what we go out and hunt for you guys, right? So in this sentence, you're looking at abalone. Abalone is a shell, and on the interior of the shell, you have this, it forms these bands. Okay, these bands of different iridescent colors. And typically with abalone, the more iridescent it is, the more valuable it is. I love this butterfly. I think it was cool. It is a signed EZP Taxco brooch. It's a brooch. 6 grams on this guy. Okay. All right. Batami. Okay, Batami. Am I saying that? Okay. Did I say Batamir? Ami? I don't know. Anyway, it's a Israeli. I know he's the famous. Thank you, Deborah. All right, now some of you are gonna say, why is she showing me this? When I'm gonna show you first what I'm gonna show you, the tag, and then you're gonna say, why is she showing me this? Now, everybody just take a look. Why am I showing you a Coldwater Creek piece, right? Well, I will say that with any type of brand, sometimes when they first come out with product in a line, sometimes you find really cool things. And in this particular instance, I did. Okay. So I'm going to just go down from this is the clasp. It's a modern clasp, right? Lobster claw. Knotting. First of all, knotting. This is wood. Okay. No. Okay. All right, Jenny, you're showing me wood beads. Okay. Now look at this. Citrine. We're talking about earlier about citrine. Now this is what the other one I had with those earrings had a little bit more of maybe just a little lighter than that. But any type of yellow in a stone make the stone called citrine. Okay. And then we go down, more wood beads and citrine. Anytime I find gemstone in any type of capacity and I can get it under the radar. Now these other beads here are just base metal. But I use the analogy that when you take apart or look at a piece and assess it, just in general, okay? I'm not going to go into a lot of specifics, but needless to say, you take apart, if I had to construct a piece, time, labor, and everything means something. Knotting a piece of jewelry is usually the first sign that something is made well. The reason being is if that strand breaks, you're only going to lose one part of the strand, right? So the knotting is a very labor. Now people say, "Oh, I can learn to knot." Yeah, well, not everybody can do it. And when you have something like this, it might people say, "Oh, it's just wood and citrine." Okay, yeah, but you know what? It also has a lot of character, and the fact that somebody decided to knot this together. That's why when you can go to a store and you break it apart and you say, "Oh, that makes a lot of sense, Jen. I don't think about that." I talk about that with pearl restringing. I talk about that with any type of bead restringing. Anything you have that in life that will be worth something, they're going to take the time to knot it. So just putting it out there so you guys can think about that for one like that. Yeah, Janet, and that's fine. It's one of those things. That's why some people, I just put it out there though. If you choose what you want to wear, I'm just pointing out there that you want to know why prices of certain things go up. And they say, well, nobody ever told me that I couldn't get coral. If you change your mind one day and say, "Hi, Jenny, I want to have coral piece," and you'll say, "Well, nobody told me that there was a moratorium on harvesting coral." Well, look at all the things that they're doing in the environment lately, and they're not going to be able to do a lot of things. So I understand. I don't tell people what to buy. I just put it out there that I give you the information, at least that I know, and then you guys can do your own research about it. So, all right, this is Mimi by Sorelli. If anybody loves Sorelli pieces, this is their line, a subsidiary line called Mimi. Mimi by Sorelli. These are, again, modern piece. These are all glass, faceted glass, done with brass link. So on my channel, I don't only just talk about gemstone jewelry. I'm also trying to get something that you guys would be proud to own, proud to layer. And a lot of my clients that are on my channel or have come to shop with me, they love to layer things. They love glass pieces. They love to put pendants here. They love long chains. So I'm always on the hunt for long pieces. This is 33 inches long. Beautiful. You can put any color of the rainbow. You want to wear something, a red pendant, something in the middle. This is going to frame it. I talk about framing in fashion and jewelry and things like that. This is going to be elongate you. It's going to make you look slimmer. It's going to make you look longer. I just look at that way. So, no, that's okay. I don't want to, and here, you know what? Everybody is entitled to their opinion, and I respect everybody's opinion. And, I never want to get into anything about right, wrong, this or that. I never want to stir the pot. But I will say one thing. At least I try to come out. If I don't know something, I'll be the first to say, I don't know everything. I never said in any world that I know everything. I'm just saying I went to school for gemology and practiced in the jewelry industry for 26 years. I think I know a little bit more than the average Joe about how to take care of jewelry than most people. But I'm not going to lecture people. That's not what I'm here for. I'm here to guide you. I'm here to give you information and also to show you that there are things out in the world that, that you should be aware of. That's all. All right. These are vintage cobalt blue rhinestone, aqua blue rhinestone, and like a midnight blue rhinestone. These are clip. Okay. Now, I did not see, that everybody's talking about Juliana or coral or anything, Weiss or things like that. These are not signed, and Juliana is not a signed costume designer. But I buy these because what I have learned is that if they're on different height levels, something like this, that's more labor. See how much each of these little setting areas have been hand soldered to those pieces. So if you think about it, there's a lot of labor. And then here's the back. I'll take one off. Here's the rivet. There's the back. Okay. Hi, Carrie. How are you? Hi, Sunray. Did I say hi to you guys? How you doing, my dear? Judy Lee vibes. Okay, Greta. You guys, and I'll be the first to say, I'm learning just like you are about a lot of costume. I mean, I'm not saying that I did work. I didn't know a lot about a costume, but that's why I have friends like Leslie, who I just came on after. She advises me a lot. I'll show her some pictures and see what she thinks. And again, finding doing your own research of what I can do. I do find things. I just know about color. I like things about certain things. I don't know. That's all I do. I can get the vibe. Now here, she was just showing you guys some this is an Art Nouveau brooch. Glass. Look at the detail on this. It's brass. It's an amethyst glass. It's not, they call it well, you can call purple glass, amethyst glass, but amethyst is referring to it's a purple piece of glass. Here's the back. This one has a C clasp. Beautiful. This is large. This is 2.5 inches long by 2 inches wide. Hi, Carrie. Well, do you have a long day? Hi, Martha. How are you? Good to see you. Hope you didn't have a long day, Carrie. You do know about me leaving the hospital in about 3 weeks, right? Carrie's a nurse. So everybody heads off to Carrie. She works her tail off. When she's around patients, as all the nurses do, then they work hard. Okay, these, if I can get this, are Sarah Coventry. Okay, they look like they're prong set, but these are just glued in. I bought these because I love the fire of these. I like the fire of the stones. You guys are getting a glimpse of that across the page. Or that's the screen. Oh, I should say page. Here, let me do it this way. Okay. Signed Sarah Coventry. They actually go like this. I have them upside down because they're on the card like this. Look how they go. And I like them. They have like a smoky gray rhinestone. I don't know, they're just unusual. I like them. All right. Hello, Homemade Jewelry Network. Are you new here? I don't think I've ever seen you at my chat. Well, welcome. And everybody welcome Homemade Jewelry Network here. If you're new here, please, if you don't mind, register and subscribe to my channel. That way I get to know you. And that way you want to send your information to jensgemsfinds@gmail.com. What I'm doing right now, I don't know if you're he or she, but I'm doing a live haul, kind of an interactive time I do with my subscribers or my people who are here watching. And that way you guys get a sneak peek of what's going to be coming up for Tuesday's auction. I have my auctions on Tuesday afternoon at 1 p.m. Central. I love these. Now, Leslie, I don't know if you're watching. Look at these glass. Now, you saw the ones earlier, right? What would you call this? Bubble glass? Look like little bubbles, but look at the color. You guys asked for, I'm not going to say dragon's breath, but they look like, look at the color. Look, they move. Like look at that, orange to purple. I mean, these are more modern, of course, but look, they look like there's bubbles. Aren't those cool? Sterling silver, of course. And just really, really pretty glass. And they have these caps. Doesn't that look like dragon's breath, Jen? So I don't know. Is there a term? Borosilicate. Borosilicate. See, I learn from her all the time. Borosilicate. What is this kind of what you were doing when you were making beads? Isn't this like a lot of labor? I mean, I'm assuming it is because I've never seen a bead that has little like bubbles on there. Is that cool? I don't know. I just thought it was cool. I picked them up. I said, well, first of all, I saw it like, oh, it looks like dragon's breath. Everybody's been asking me to find dragon's breath for them. And that's not dragon's breath per se, because that's not vintage enough. But needless to say, I like the color. All right. For my Native American lovers, I didn't forget about you. Borosilicate. I think we talked about that one time. All right. I got this. And then I have earrings. So, of course, I'll sell them separately. This is the pendant is now it's not signed, okay, but it has the, I guess you call it petit point turquoise, okay. It's also a brooch on the back, okay. And so right now I have it on a chain, and so it's got a little bail there. So I have it on a snake chain. I think it looks nice on the snake chain, by the way. So that is, let's see, the chain is 18 inches long. The pendant's 1 inch. So could be Zuni, could be Navajo. I don't know. It's not marked either one with any maker mark on it. I loved it because of the work. Let me zoom in a little bit so you can see it. Sorry. And all those, we call this, for those of you who are new or new to jewelry, learn, we call this sawtooth bezel. So it looks like little teeth of a saw, like zigzag. And that's how they're set in here, right? And all the stones are done that way. Isn't that beautiful? And I have this pair, like where earrings, you can go earrings to go with them. I'm selling them separately, but I just want to tell you I've got Mandarin appearance. Okay. All right. Pyrex is borosilicate. So what is, oh, okay. It's a higher coefficient, so you can play with the color fuming more. Oh, okay. All right. So basically what you're saying is that like those probably were, I got those earrings, the first pair and then that pair from the same, so maybe the lady who made or got them knew a designer who did both, probably, right? Okay. I just, like I said, I just know that there's something special, not something you see all the time. Okay. All right. Okay, here we go. All right. Now, last week, I had some Akoya pearls. What's an Akoya pearl? An Akoya pearl, Akoya is a Akoya shell that comes from Japan, where Mickey Moto fame comes from. Mickey Moto is a famous maker that makes that harvests pearls, and they sell them on the retail market. And the pearl it comes from is called Akoya. Okay, Akoya pearls is about the size of a palm of a person's hand, and typically they do not get large in size. Okay, now these, believe it or not, are not Akoya pearls, but I want you to take a look at them. Look for the most part on these pearls. You'll see slight variances, but these are actually freshwater. These are freshwater pearls. Okay, how do I know that? Because look at this one. See how this one looks a little bit more of a pear? But very, very beautiful luster. Very, very beautiful matching on these pearls. It's a double strand with a 14 karat gold clasp. Okay. Now I did sell a pair of Akoya. I said just strand like this last week in Akoyas. I had bought these though. These are freshwater, so these aren't going to be as expensive as the last set I had last week. But if you're looking for a beautiful, this is 18 inches long. I gotta get this kind of around here. It might not fit in my bust right because I've got it sideways, but it will lay more right. Ah, I might have it twisted. Hold on a minute. But it is beautiful set of pearls, and they will. It's a beautiful on when you wear them on. There you go. And if you've got a granddaughter, pearls should be a staple in everybody's wardrobe. If you're not a pearl fan, okay, I get it. I understand. And I love these because I love the fact that you also think about silk knotting. How much would the gold clasp cost you if you had to string them? The stringing, the clasp, everything else. Okay. I'm just going to give you an idea on this price because some people are going to ask me, well, how much is this going to be? Just give you an idea. I sold my strand, I think last week for $500 for their Koyas. I'm selling this strand here. Starting bid of be $250 on this. That'll be the starting bid on Tuesday at $250. The clasp alone would be probably half that price, if not more. And then how much would stringing 2 strands of pearls cost you? If you took them into your jeweler, how much would they charge you to string? So those are the kind of things I do at my channel. I'm able to go out and find things like this for you. You'd be proud to know that these are beautiful, solid freshwater pearls. But that's what I'm saying. Back in the late 90s, early 2000s, that in Vietnam, they were coming up with techniques that would rival Akoya pearls. And that's what this is. This is something that would be probably more recently made, right? But that's what they were doing. And so on the market, it got flooded. But now all of a sudden, ever since there's some typhoons that went through there, the market's changed, things like that. And since COVID, a lot of the pearl farms have changed. There's no, like, people are getting out of pearl farming. So pearl prices have gone up. So across the board for all genres of pearls. So let's give you that in mind. Okay. All right. So what else can I show you to knock your socks off? Let's see. Does anybody have any questions along the way? Just let me know. Okay. And this is something fun. Nobody wants bling, glass, modern, has a foil backs. I just thought this was fun. Not signed, but it has the gunmetal color, has the extender in the back. I just thought it was cute and fun. Wear that on a white t-shirt or black dress. I mean, whatever you want to do. Knock it to the store. Hello, Ivy. How are you? Good to see you. Okay, let me show you some other stuff. Okay. Another piece from my personal collection that I'm going to liquidate. Don't wear this at all either. Another brooch. So my brooch people. This is not sterling silver, but it is mother of pearl. Look at the painting. Russian painted mother of pearl. Signed at the bottom right here. Right there. Look at that. It's mother of pearl. You guys seen that? Here we go. See the iridescence? Has a C clasp on the back. It's not sterling. Sorry, I'm trying to get this focused for you a little bit. Maybe on the bus might be a little better. Let's see if I can do this. Let me zoom in one more time. Isn't that adorable? I can't keep everything in my, in my jewelry box. So sometimes I just have to say, I have not worn this, but it's been kept lovingly in my jewelry box. It's so time to find it a new home to somebody who will enjoy it, wear brooches more often. All right. All right, let's see. Now, this is a designer piece. This is not, now when you look at it, you're like, what's going on here, Jen? What's the deal? Kind of a mixed metal piece. And the chain is sterling silver. Nice large Rolo link. Okay. All sterling silver here. Down here, you have a sterling silver base tag with the, I guess you want to call it fluted accordion style brass overlay. Down here, you'll have a piece of copper with a articulated little cube. And down at the bottom is a freshwater pearl. Okay. Come back here. Here's the clasp. Sterling silver clasp to bring the artisan feel from the bottom to the top. This is the artisan signature. They put a copper ring here with a brass little charm there. The designer of this, which is signed on the back of it, is Jennifer Walsh. That's her name. I can get this focused. Hold on. Very, if you like mixed metal, if you're a mixed metal person, love your mixer. It says J. Walsh right there. J. Walsh. And that's Jennifer Walsh. Please look up her information if you don't know about Jennifer Walsh. Her pieces are expensive as well. So, but it is all sterling silver. Look at this chain. If anything, for the chain, if everybody knows about me breaking down pieces and how you put things together, how much would a chain like this cost you to make? Right? This is 18.5 inches long. Oh, I think I got it twisted now that I did that. Okay. Anyway, Jennifer Walsh, that's her name. And signed J.L. Walsh. Okay. All right. Hi, Amy. How are you? Good to see you. And it's another person I want to give a personal shout out to. Amy is a viewer as well as has her own channel. Hello Jewelry Friends, that's her handle name there. And Amy is kind enough to go on her show every day, or pretty much almost every day, to go on there and highlight things that she's gotten from or received, purchased from certain resellers, and give them shout outs. And says, this is how I've matched up, this is what I wore to work today. This is what I wore on the weekend. This is what I did. So she does, we don't ask her to do that. She does that on her love of what she loves in jewelry and sharing her passion and her excitement to the jewelry she wears. And she's a lovely lady. We don't, that's so sweet. We love seeing things like this. This is a designer ring. This actually came from my mother. This is one of my personal rings. This is Ivana Ruzzo. Last name Ruzzo. Ivana Ruzzo green onyx and marcasite ring. This is a size 7. So isn't that beautiful? Look at Art Deco feel. Look at how they call these shield cuts. Almost like a shield cut, cabochons. And it's green onyx. Or in our world, agate family, quartz family, right? And then when we get into translucent stones, then we look at the color. So people could intercom and say green agate, green onyx, same thing, same family. Okay. All right. Thank you, Amy. That's very sweet of you, honey. I like that. All right. Now, what else we got here? Getting down to the wire. Let's see. This was, believe it or not, I've decided to, people say, Jenny, what are you doing? I said, well, I have other things for my grandmother. This was my grandmother's. Okay. Okay. Late 1960s. It's probably what I got for my grandma. It's a bracelet, AB bracelet with cone spacer beads there. Slot clasp. Comes open. Not sterling. But there, here, you do it like that. So all I know, you guys, a lot of you have who love glass or love the AB rhinestone. Sometimes it's hard to find bracelets. This is a 7-inch bracelet. I don't wear it. I mean, I'll be honest, I just don't. I mean, it's my grandma. Yes, my grandma gave it to me, but I also have things that for my grandma that I do wear. And I just want to pass this along. So I love the detail of the clasp with all the rhinestones in there. Really, really pretty. So that will be up for sale. All right. I think I'm down the wire. I've got other things too, but I got to keep things for Tuesday. Now, this, I'm going to give a shout out to somebody she's not here right now that I see. This, again, I bought for myself from T's Jewelry. If you haven't seen her channel, I bought this from her. This is labradorite. I've had this up for sale before. I ended up putting it back in my box thinking, oh, maybe I'll wear it but I haven't worn it. This is beautiful. Look at this labradorite. And look at how sterling silver. This is large and in charge. Is what if you want to be seen across the room, and you have that glow of that labradorite. This is made. The pendant is made by Suarti, Suarti, Suarti. Okay, here is the mark. I'll show you on it. BA. When you see the BA, you get a piece of sterling silver, Indonesian style, maybe 925 BA. That's Suarti, Suarti. All handmade. Look at this. It's a monster. Okay. All these beads are all hand assembled onto the metal. There's nothing mass produced here is what I'm trying to get at. Okay. And goes on the back side of the bail. I've matched it up with this beautiful, look at this chain. Italian made chain. Look at that clasp. I think it looks awesome on this chain, by the way. This is heavy, okay? So let me give you guys an idea, okay? If you don't like light, if you don't like weight around your neck, this is not the piece for you. Let's be fair and frank. The pendant weighs 60.6 grams. 60, almost 2 ounces of weight here, okay? 60.6 grams. The chain weighs 39.43 grams. So total, you're looking at 100 grams of weight here, okay? The chain is 17.5 inches long. The pendant's 2 5/8 inches long, okay? So it's a gorgeous, gorgeous piece. Again, you know, I thought, oh, maybe Jenny, give it a second. You know, I have got other things I can wear, but I'm willing to part with it. I had it. I mean, there's just because I buy it from a reseller doesn't mean, hey, there's something wrong with it. Or if I change my mind and say, I wear it for a while, this is one of the pieces that I have just decided. I just said, you know what? Because the reason being is I also have a statement necklace that I have that is all full of it's almost like a bib necklace, has labradorites going all the way around. So it's flatter and not as heavy. So I decided to wear that more than this. So if that means is that I want to pass it on to somebody else. And along the way, I found this chain, and I think the chain, you can take this pendant off this chain. So if you want to wear this on something else, like a torque or you've got a strand of heavy beads that you want to put it on versus this, but I think it looks beautiful on there. So, all right. Okay. Just let you know. So, all right. That's pretty much what I got going on. I've been on here for an hour and 10 minutes, y'all. Have I missed anything from anybody asking any questions? I don't know. But again, I got, like I said, that is from what this basket here is probably from what I've had for my box, and I went to an estate sale this week. What I have over on the other side, you guys see this table here. I haven't even unboxed it yet. I literally just got home this afternoon. So I haven't even had a chance to look at it, but I know you guys are anxious to look at it. All I can tell you is, let me come back to the camera. Because I work full-time currently, okay? Because I work full-time, I literally work 8:30 to 5, okay? I come home, eat a little dinner, spend a little time with my husband, and then I'm sitting in my office trying to work on jewelry, getting it prep for you guys, okay? So sometimes I'm up to 11:30, 12 o'clock at night, and I literally just got home from this trip this afternoon, okay? That bag over there, which I will get to over the next few weeks, which is, I'm going to work diligently. And when you guys have to understand, when I leave the job at the hospital, my focus will be on this more time. I can sit down every day and work. So it takes me a little time to get through the new things. I will tell you though, that I was able to find, just, like I said, I'm trying to think what I have. A lot of sterling earrings, gemstone earrings, Navajo earrings. I have, just to give you an idea, turquoise earrings, some of them signed, some of them artistly done, inlay. I do have, will be coming up in the next few weeks, will also be I bought some beautiful costume pieces. This woman I meet, she is a wonderful lady. She trusts me with a lot of things that she brings from her own personal collection. And I did get some brooches from her, some Kramer, possibly white. I think Kramer and Weiss, and then possibly maybe a Juliana or two. So, that will be coming up. For those of you who've been asking me for long glass beads, she didn't have a lot of the wedding cake beads this time, but she did bring me some nice, huge, beautiful Swarovski crystal pieces. Okay. I did get some rings. I know you guys have been asking me for large size rings. I did get I think one's like a 9, possibly 10 amber ring. I got a tourmaline ring. Just a whole bunch of things. All I can say is that, again, I don't want to bring that stuff out yet because I still have to verify it and test it. If you guys know anything about what we do in this community, we want to make sure what it is before I put it up on. These things I just showed you tonight, I've done all that already. So it takes time for us to do the research. It takes time to clean up the jewelry. It takes time to research the jewelry. So yes, can I show you things and show you what they are, but they're going to be not ready yet. And so I like to do my due diligence and getting that done for you. Yeah. And then when my next sale, like I said, the next sale will be Tuesday, of course, the 22nd at 1. And then I guess the following week will be the 29th. And then, so next 3 weeks, we'll still do Tuesday afternoon sales. But then when we start August 10th on that Sunday, that's what I'm shooting for. That'll be my first Sunday afternoon sale. And again, along the way, I'm going to be working on all these things that I just got today. So I'm excited to show you guys. There are also some, I'm just trying to think. My mind, I was there for 6 hours yesterday, guys. Okay. So I was like, oh my God, I got there. I was like, oh my gosh, it took me a while to go through everything. But that's what we do. Joe was with me. He helps me go through things, and we're going through, she's bringing out buckets and buckets and buckets of things. And I'm like, oh my gosh, my brain was on overload. So, and again, I know Leslie had her sale last night. And so that's why I had to get some sleep, because I was literally physically exhausted. So, but yes, there are some wonderful things to come. All I can tell you is that I try my best for you guys. I'm looking for what you're finding, what you're asking me for. Again, it's all what, sometimes it's what we can try to get at that time. Sometimes you have to buy a bundle. Sometimes you have to buy piece by piece. So just bear with me, and also the rest of the resellers too. We work hard. We do work hard for all of you guys to do what we do. And if it's something that, if you ever have a question or a concern or anything, like I have right now, if you guys want to ask me questions, this is the time I kind of open up the floor. If you guys want to talk about anything, it's called chit chat time. So if you guys want to talk about anything, then we go from there. But on my show, come Tuesday, I just thought of something, because it's now what, 6 months to Christmas, guys. So I did put a tray. Will be coming up on Tuesday. Just a little bit of a like a little Christmas brooch selection of jewelry, brooch and some jewelry pieces. So yeah, the thrill of the hunt. That's right, Nate. That's right, Leslie. Let me take some water real quick. Does anybody have any questions? Christmas in July. That's right. And by the way, Bruce is doing his Thursday, right? The 24th, he's doing it. So Bruce and Bruden's treasure chest. I don't know if he's still here. But everybody, yeah, share if you are Blue Wrench and your channel, if you want to have your channel, if you want to put out your times of your shows, because I do have a few new people in here. That way everybody knows kind of when people go on. Leslie does her normal shows on Wednesday and Saturdays nights. Who am I missing? Well, Curry, I know you kind of do. I don't know if you do have set times, or know what you're figuring out your schedule. I think what you do, your stuff. She does Curry for Cherish Relics Boutique. She buys a lot of I guess boxes of things. Like she'll get things, and she goes camera down, which that means in our world we say camera down. That means you're looking at the jewelry, you're not looking at the person. Okay, but she uses her Presidium, and she goes through things, and she puts things, figures out with the Presidium, gives an idea of what they are. She kind of explains things, and she has sales like that. She also does trinkets. I know she has other things she sells as well. So check out her channel. Yeah, so she's working on. She's working off a platform that she used called District. And so she's trying to do, she's always been on YouTube, but she kind of used her YouTube channel to kind of do her unboxing. And then she would go over to District. Now I think she's going to come back to YouTube, and she wants to sell on YouTube. So, but she's been doing this as long as I've been doing it. Her and I kind of started around the same time, about 2 years ago. So yeah. And then Amy, of course, we just talked about Amy. And she does feature length videos about she works in a you work at a bank, right? Am I right? But she talks about what she wears to the work, and I just love her. I mean, I just love her. I haven't met her in person, but you just get a sense from, you just know you want to meet somebody. Amy's like such a sweetheart. I just love her. Just do. And I love most of the people I meet in here are so nice. And so, but I do appreciate you, Amy, very much. You and Leonor a lot. But yeah. And then, what else? So I have trays over there. Like I said, that was kind of like the sneak peek haul for what's going to come on Tuesday. I am going to start tomorrow night when I come home from work, start working on that bag, and it's heavy. Okay. Of the goodies, and I'll see if I can get through some of the new things, and that might be something new you guys have to tune on Tuesday to see. So you're making notes, and that's exactly right, Ocean Breeze. I have people watch these videos, and they'll say, Jen, so when we start our show come Tuesday, I usually have a plan. Okay, the plan is we do, I have trays. I have trays that are already set to go. Usually I start the show pretty light. I try to get people to come in. We usually do what we call high bidder gets choice. So the format of my show when we do those is that I show a tray of jewelry, and usually I'll have a starting bid on something, and that format will be, and I'll make it clear what we're doing. This is a high bidder gets choice tray. We'll start a tray at a certain price, and we do dollar increments up to the highest bid. And when whoever gets first choice, and then we go down the list, and then you can pick what's left on the tray. It makes it fun, makes it interactive for you guys. It's a way to get participation to go and get to the whole bidding process. And when it comes to we on the new pieces that I just showed will be auction format, which means I start the bidding at a certain price, and then we do increments up to whoever gets the item. And that's how I do it. And then sometimes, like in the things in the back, now if you watch any of my previous videos, you'll see all these things in back here that I've already shown. So if you watch any of my previous videos and say, well, what's going on back there, Jenny? I see a lot of interesting things. You can watch my videos, and I'll be happy to send me an email at jensgemsfinds@gmail.com. And that way you can ask me about it. I'll give you, the dimensions, the weights, everything about something. I've had a lot of people, especially new subscribers, find my videos from 2-3 months ago, and they finally found me, and they'll say, "Oh, I found you, Jen," and that's good. I mean, they finally found me, and then they'll say, "Do you still have it?" And sometimes I do, sometimes I don't, but sometimes I do, and they'll ask me questions. So, but once an item has gone up for auction, let me explain this real quick too, because I don't do pre-sales on my channel. There's not, some people do different things, but on my channel, I don't do pre-sales on new items. So all the things I just showed you, I will not sell those items until they come up for the bidding process come Tuesday afternoon. Once an item, let's say I bring an item up on the screen, we go through the item auction. If it's passed, which means it doesn't, nobody buys it and it goes down, then we go to what we call the concept of first come, first serve. So you literally can send me an email 30 seconds after it goes off the screen. My husband is here during the live sales. He'll receive email all the time because I have bidders that don't participate in the chat, but they'll say they buy things after they're passed. They're really quick about saying, oh, they don't want to be seen in the chat, but they'll say, if I'm going to take the risk, Jen, and once it's passed, I want something. So just to let you guys know, that's why when you ask me even an hour after the show, why I saw that nobody bought it, Jen, how can somebody already bought it? Because I have people that actually watch the live that don't participate in the chats. Simple as that. For whatever reason, I honor all people being here. That's the way they want to work, and they work behind the scenes. So if that means if you see something that is not on my sets, and you send me an email like tomorrow and say, Jenny, I want to know about this. Well, I know like this, I don't know offhand what this is. Let's say you wanted to ask me about this. This is a cyan bracelet, which I've shown before. It's an enamel bracelet, sterling silver. And you asked me about this. This is something I showed probably, I showed this multiple times, but I've had this, probably a month and a half, and I'll give you information about it. Anything that you, like I said, watch a video and send me an email, I'll be happy to give you information about it. And if it's something, if you agree to the price, bam, it's yours. Because I use the analogy, my house is not a museum. My house is, well, place I, of course, my feel safe, of course, but also I live, but also this is just some way to get you guys interested in jewelry. So if I can find things that make you guys love jewelry, and if I can find that special piece for you, it makes my heart and soul warm and fulfilled, and also makes my husband's life to my husband Joe. If you guys are late, and I know I have some ladies in here, gentlemen that are new. My husband, his name is Joe, and he, again, I've expressed him before. He's here during our live sales. While I'm working at the hospital, he's the one who will say, Jen, and I'll call him at lunchtime. I'll say, this person's asking me a question. Can you help me? And I'll help him. And I said, if not, I'll answer it when I get home at 5:30. But he does the shipping, the invoicing, answers questions. And this whole concept of this happened during COVID. That's how I got involved with YouTube. You guys want to know how I got involved with YouTube? I didn't even know what YouTube is. Quite frankly, I never followed it. I never did streaming. I always watched TV like normal. I'm in I'm 52 years old. I'll tell you guys how old I am. I'm 52. So when I have an old soul. But I remember days when we have rotary telephones. You want to remember everybody's phone number on your hand. Remember that? You had to write in a pen and say, what's your phone number, right? There was no cell phones. There was none of this stuff we do nowadays. So this is all somewhat new to me. So, but he said he was watching and he found YouTube, and we learned a lot during COVID because everybody was home, and he punched in the term jewelry and selling it or something. I don't know what he did, but he found it, and he said, look, there's people on YouTube selling jewelry, Jenny. I said, okay, so I can do that, right? He said, well, the thing is about you could do that, right? You worked in jewelry, you sold jewelry for 26 years. I said, okay, so that's true. I just didn't know how the technology part of it. There's certain times when I'm still doing the shorts, doing the videos, And that's why I'm kind of helping. I'm be honest with you, ladies and gentlemen, I am not one with technology typically really well. This is why I do this, because I want to be interactive with you guys versus videos. I know that content will get your channel to grow, which I'm working on. I will get there, but along the way, I got to be transparent. So that's what I'm working on. So anyway, yes, Joe's always on top of things. So hope that answers a lot of your questions. Did I miss any questions so far from anybody? If you did, this is the time you can ask me about anything. I've been married to my husband for 4 years. And he was former military, he served for 26 years in the Army. Yeah. And now he's retired and he's home and we do this together. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward. I feel the weight of the world's off my shoulders. It will definitely be off my shoulders after I walk out the door on August 8th. But, we're going to miss the people at the hospital. Don't get me wrong. There are some friends and people that I've known me for a while. But once they knew I was doing this and they said, Jenny, we wish you well. They've been giving me high fives. They've given me hugs. They've been willing. They're basically very happy for me. So I gave them 6 weeks notice, which is, who does that anymore, right? I do, because I also think about who's going to take over my spot when I have to leave. That's what I do. I think about other people first. That's what I try to do if you guys know anything about me, I'm very transparent. I'm the worst poker player in the world because I wear my emotions on the sleeve. That's a really true statement, because I'm worst. I'm the highest of the high when you see me, and I could also be the lowest of the low when you see me. There's nothing in between. So that's why I'm the worst poker player. I don't play poker, but I just to say I do. All right. So, yes, Jane. I'm sorry. Yes. I don't wear it too much, but I do. Yes, my wedding ring is a yellow diamond. It is. Yes, ma'am. It is dirty, but if you want to see it, there you go. I usually just wear my wedding band when I'm on screen, but it's dirty today. But that's my wedding ring. Yes. And there's the side view of it, if you guys want to see it. What makes it yellow? If you're going to say probably what's making it yellow. Well, actually, the element nitrogen, when the diamond was forming, oh, it is so dirty. Sorry. So it looks a lot better when it's clean, everybody. But it is, it's the element nitrogen colors diamonds. Makes yellow diamonds yellow. There's different trace elements, such as boron will make a diamond blue. That kind of thing. So there's it. So it's basically got encrusted with diamonds around. This is platinum, and then I have a platinum. This is what you guys usually see me this way in the show, because it's sometimes cumbersome. And we were out again. I wore it out today, so when we came back from our little vacation kind of thing. So that's my wedding set. So anyway, thank you. My husband didn't know anything. He says, Jenny, you pick out what you want. I don't know the first thing about jewelry. So he was kind of like, Dave, this is where he kind of like, I had to teach him a little bit when we went out sourcing and did things. So he's the one. He goes around and he carries a loop with him. How many women in this chat have your husband go out and use a loop? How many of you guys carry a loop with you? I know you women do, but maybe, I don't know, but have your man in your life use a loop? Yeah. He also carries around one of these. Black light. Oh, we use the look for amber. If I have amber. If I have amber. But if you put black light, it will glow with this. Plus we can look for fluorescence, like here. Here, watch. You guys can see this. Now here. So here, let me give you a little lesson. This is lesson time. This is ad lib time. This is what we're going to talk about. So here's my ring, right? We just talked about my wedding ring. Not to brag or anything, but look. So if you took your diamond into the jeweler, or if you took your ring into the jeweler for any reason, one way you can identify your stone sometimes is with fluorescence. Okay? Watch. I'm going to try to do this so you guys can see it. You guys see that? See? You see some of my little side diamonds are glowing blue? There you go. So when you go to a club, I don't know if everybody's club days are over or not, but if you go to a club, that's what black light is, like ultraviolet light, right? UV light. And so that's a quick way of knowing if you have how to identify your stone and say, I know exactly when my diamonds fluoresce. And think of each diamond like a snowflake. So no two diamonds are exactly alike. So if you take your ring to your jeweler, you should have them ask you to put it under a microscope. And what we use in gemology called plotting, or we plot the inclusions in the stone, right? And each diamond is going to have its own characteristic for where the little flaw is, or we call it, I don't like to use the word flaw, inclusion inside the stone. That's your identifying birthmark for your stone, right? So that way, when you get it back after they size it, they say, can you put my ring back under the microscope so I can find my inclusion at, say, 6 o'clock mark, or wherever, if you want to think of it as a clock. That way you know you're getting your same diamond back. Pretty simple. Yeah, it's like a fingerprint. No two are alike. Exactly. Yep. Yeah, and not all diamonds fluoresce under UV light, and that's right, Curry. So, yeah, it happens when the crystallization of the diamond got interactive with, I guess, inside the earth mantle of the core. So not all diamonds go through all that. It depends on the circumstances and what happens to them. So anyway, just another thing. All right. So, hi, Bruce. How you doing? Did I say hi to you? I think I did. All right. So, anyway, any other questions? This is your time. You guys have anything else you want to discuss, talk about? Gemology questions? Again, I use the analogy that if I talk about something, I try to put them in very layman terms about not over your head. I put it in some words of what, use the term planting the seed. So if I talk about something, you say, what is she talking about? Well, now you can Google search or read books, anything about what causes UV glowing in diamonds or colored stones, and you'll read about it. And so that way you go, okay, that makes sense. All right. She's understanding that. So no, I didn't teach Joe about everything he knows. No. But he is learning. I will say we carry this, right? We carry our brain with us, but we carry a loop, we carry a black light, and we carry a magnet. Three things with us. If we go looking up, if you try to carry all that with you, majority of the things you can look at, pretty good thing. You forgot the magnet. Yep, forget about the magnet, Bruce. Yes. The reason being is that sterling silver does not stick to a magnet. So if you're out there and you're out now, does that mean it's sterling silver? No. Why? Because copper is a non-magnetic metal. So you could have plated copper, which does happen a lot. But it gives you at least a form of, that to say, hey, it's not stainless steel, or it's not base metal. If it sticks like this and it goes, no. So yeah. That's right, Curie. And I don't know how, and again, thanks to what you do, my dear, working those hours you do. That's why I always think, I think nurses, teachers, and military people, and like first responders, right? They don't get enough thank yous in my book. You found a class marked 750. It tested for gold, but it drew a magnet because of, that's right. So that's another thing, Greta. You're exactly correct. Let me show you that. Let me see what she's talking about, everybody. What Greta was talking about in the chat. I'm going to use this bus just because it's easier for me to use on the camera. What she's talking about, I'm going to use this as an example. Okay. This is not a 750 chain. What she's saying, she has a chain. Hold on a minute. Having a moment. This is what I'm talking about. Camera has its moments, y'all. Okay. So this is sterling silver chain, lobster claw clasp, made in Italy. Now, if I put a magnet, I don't have one here in my set right now, but if I put a magnet right here, it would stick to this clasp right here because there's a wire mechanism inside the lobster that you use to open and shut the clasp, right? So it's not sterling silver wire that's inside. There's a base metal to make for strength and tightness to make that spring-loaded clasp, right? So inside the clasp, if I put a magnet here, it would be, but the rest of the chain would not stick because it's all sterling. The lever mechanism inside will stick. So be careful. The other thing you have to be careful of too, and my friend Dina Marie, for that girl Dina Marie about this, till everybody's attention when I started, she's a really dear friend of me too. When you look at sterling marks, make sure that somewhere on this part of the clasp of a lobster claw is marked 925. Sometimes you'll find chain that will say 925 Italy here, 925 here, and then they'll put, watch, they'll put one of these kind of clasp on. Watch, come on. I just happen to have this sitting here, so I figured I'd use this. You guys see these kind of clasps all the time? Look. Like actually this is actually a good thing. Is this marked? Yeah, this is actually marked. Now here, this perfect example. This is exactly why it's sitting on my set, not for sterling, because look, this is marked 925 on the hang tag. But this clasp, look, there's no 925 mark on this clasp. This is not sterling silver. I tested the chain, not sterling silver. But it's marked 925. So you got to be careful when you go out in role plays that. Now I have it. This is not for one of the giveaway pieces, but I have it on a cute little. If anybody comes to my channel and want to know, like this would be like a little giveaway. I would get like a little carved seahorse. Isn't he cute? But I give this as like a giveaway gift, just to have a little cute gift to give everybody from showing up, So that's why I have it on this chain, right? Something you guys, but it's still beautiful chain. It's just not sterling, but I put it on something you give away. So that is a good way to know that, what to look for. So make sure you're seeing that the mark is actually on the clasp itself. And it also be on a spring ring. So if I'm looking at a spring, sorry about my nails, my spring ring, that it would be marked. See, there's a 925 mark in there. Okay. See, that one isn't marked. It's not marked on that side, but on this side it is. Right. So hopefully that makes sense. Maybe on a spring ring too. So like on spring, like here, this would be, so it's going to be on a lobster. The spring would be again here on the top of the clasp. 925 right there. See? 925 right there. It's also on the bind. So you just got to look at clasp. So that's what the loop is for. So you guys got to use the loop to look at a lot of things. Okay, what else we got? I know I'm missing some chat, so let's see. Hi, Gail. Did I miss Gail? How you doing? That's right. That's right, Chick. That's right, Curry. That's why we test it. So, for example, look, my testing box. Keep all my acids in there. Then I have, what are these, Jenny? Acids. Platinum acid, 22 karat, 10, 14, 18. All kept in a box, so we keep them in there. I had the Presidium over here. Then I had to upgrade, you all. When I first started this, I'm like, oh my God, I'm testing my jewelry. Actually, it's almost time for a new one. This is getting smooth. This is my slate. Okay, so I use this like we scratch test something, right? That's my slate I use. I had to upgrade to the bigger slate. I was using a 3x3 little ones. And I'm like, this is not working. It keeps sliding everywhere. I'm like, I finally had to upgrade to a bigger size. All right. What do I miss? What do I think of the key tester? Are you talking about the electronic tester, Greta? I don't have electronic one of those metal testers here at my home, but I know that some people, especially if you go to coin shops or especially coin shops, they have electronic testing. I think personally, this is what I think. Okay, let's just get it out there. That technology and knowledge is power, no matter which way you look at it. Can everybody carry a big multi-$1,000 machine with them when they're going picking? Or we want to use the term picking, sourcing, hunting for treasure, whatever term you like to use. You can't do that. So are there things, exceptions to the rule? That's why we come back to basics. And that's why I say, am I gonna be burned about if I have a magnet and I test something, I think it's sterling, I get it home and I think I bought something that's not sterling? Yeah, sometimes it is. But if it's a beautiful piece of jewelry, I'm going to be, okay, I bought this because I thought it was this. I'm still going to probably tell you, of course, I'm going to say this is a sterling silver plated. Let me use you an example. Let me show you an example of that. Hold on, because I want to make sure everybody knows what I'm talking about. Let me grab one of these real quick. These are going to be coming up for sale for auction come next week. So let me just show you this. And so, like this. Okay. I buy these. These are pendants that are marked 925 right there. These are not sterling silver. I know that. These come from India. You go on the internet, you find things that say, oh, this is sterling silver, 925, blah, blah, blah. I buy these pieces, they're pendants I have here on the set. I buy these because of the gemstone. This is called sardonyx. This is an agate family. So this is what most people call carnelian in the center, right here, right? And then you have these bandings on it. Because it's not fully all one color, they call it sardonyx, which means multicolored onyx, sardonyx. And I buy them because, well, I buy pendants. I only buy pendants, and I put them on these leather cords. And all you guys have bought these, most of the people that come to my show have seen these, me sell these, okay? And they're phenomenal examples of stone. Why the people in India put marks on things that aren't true, I don't know. But I do test everything that comes in the house. And these are not sterling silver. But I start these at a phenomenal price for you guys too. So if you want to get a gift to somebody and say, well, is this going to be something that's going to last? Well, it will last. I've had these for a while. I've had multiple orders from I get this from a certain fellow YouTube seller. She's a wonderful lady. And she gets these, and I personally own some of these. I wear them. So if you wanted to, people come over and say, what am I going to get somebody who has everything? Get them a beautiful gemstone pendant. It comes on a leather chain, non-sterling clasp. So that's what I'm trying to say is that, needless to say, you have to go out there, and I bring something home and I'm going to express it and test it and tell you what it is. I want you guys to be educated. I would like you guys to know what you're getting. I like to tell you about how to take care of your jewelry so you can pass it on to generations. If you have any questions about anything you have, if there's something you want to know, I will try to my best to be accessible for you at all times. Now, if you send me a photograph and I'll say, Jenny, can you look at something? I will help my best. Some of you people have done that already to send me photographs of something. There's some things I just cannot, especially, I'll be honest with you. Turquoise is one of the most simulated gemstones in the world. Okay. It's because it's widely known for thousands of years, from Egyptians on to kings and queens and things like that. So turquoise is one of the most simulated, and what I mean by simulated means they make like similarities of. They're not actual turquoise, or they treat turquoise. There's so much going on with turquoise. It's ridiculous. But needless to say, I will try my best to help you. But when I can't physically touch it or feel it and do things as the full lab would do, because you send it to a laboratory such as the GIA, they're going to do the whole kit and caboodle, things that I don't have, machines that they have there that I learned in school that I don't have. And some of those machines cost thousands and thousands of dollars. So I just want to let you know that I'll try my best to help you. And sometimes, again, I'm a human being. I make mistakes. So, yeah. So just to let you guys know, that's kind of what I do here. We have fun here. I don't want to take everybody's evening up, but I just wanted to have the opportunity to come on here and discuss things. You're driving, but listen. Well, good, Leonor. You keep your hands at 10 and 2 on that wheel, on it, girl. But yeah, but here's the thing. I want you guys to know, because the last thing I want to do is to say, hey, Jen, I didn't know that this had this, or, I want to know more about it. And I will give you as much information I can about it too up front. There's so many gemstones in the world. There's so many things that but for the most part, and I'm not going to say it's a rule of thumb, But a very simple way to say, Jenny, what can I wear every day and not have a problem with it when it comes to gemstones, right? The simple way that I usually use the analogy is say the colors of the American flag: red, white, and blue. So diamonds, sapphires, rubies. Now, can you have multicolored sapphires? Yes. There are such things called green sapphire, pink sapphire, things like that. But keep that in mind also, because there are treated stones in those categories. So if you take it into your jeweler or you get it for sizing, sometimes they are what they call, they'll take a very heavily included gemstone and they fracture fill it. It means they put stuff inside of it and they put a torch to it and all the stuff comes flying out of the stone. So you kind of have to be aware of what you're getting. But as far as wearability purposes, if you're looking at, think of it that way. Anything outside that, typically, then you're looking at, okay, you got to be a little bit careful. Yes, can you wear peridot? Can you wear amethyst? Of course you can. Are they as hard as a sapphire or ruby? No. Diamond's a 10 on the Mohs hardness scale. Sapphire and ruby are 9s. Anything below that, you just got to be a little careful with it. Simple as that. Emeralds are very soft. That's right, Curry. That's right. So like I said, that's how I explain it. There's more into it than that, but just think of it, if it's not a sapphire, if it's not a diamond, sapphire, ruby, or diamond, then just be careful, because any color of the rainbow. And if you just say, Jen, can you, and I'll tell you what your stone is. So for example, I know that we had some sellers on here talking about certain gemstones such as chrome dioxide. Last few years, back in the late 90s, early 2000s, chrome dioxide was hot, hot, hot. People love that stone. It comes from Siberia. They have to use the mine there. It's in northern Russia. And so they can only mine it 3 months of the year because of the permafrost. So you have to be very careful when it comes to mining that material. And plus, over the course of many years, and that's the thing too, you're dealing with Mother Earth. Everybody has to understand that. Just because, oh, wow, I've seen tanzanite for the last 20 years. Yeah, well, what's going to happen when it only comes from one country? That's where we're at right now. Now the government's taken over in Tanzania. So what used to be all this wonderful, beautiful stones came out of Tanzania, which we still see, of course, but people have been hoarding them, right? And so now the government controls it. So the government now controls what comes out of those mines there in Tanzania, which means there's only, from my understanding, I think there's only 3 or 4 site holders that actually have a connection to that mine with the government's permission. So you have to be careful about what you're going to find. And now what that means is prices have gone up. Same with colored diamonds. If you guys are looking for colored diamonds, the Rio Tinto mine closed a couple of years ago. I think it was I think it was 2022. I might be wrong on that, but you guys can correct me. So about 90% of all the world's colored diamonds came from Australia in that mine. And they had that going on for almost, I think it was 30 years. That mine was open. And so now when that mine being closed, it's all about price and demand and what you can find. So now you have to find, now where you're going to get your colored diamonds from. So these are the things I kind of like put them out to you. You guys can read more if you're interested in gemology and what goes on in, what's happening in the industry. A good resource is Gems and Gemology. It's a news publication that comes out quarterly through the GIA. They have a lot of great articles in there about things, and I think it comes out once a quarter. And just do your research. So where are we at here? You have dropped jade and then ran a break. I guess it's hard, but it seems too fragile to touch. So it is the husky. Yes, it is right. Is resistant to toughness, but it's still, when you drop it, it's delicate and will break. I mean, that's that mean. Hardness is for against this. When we say hardness of a stone, it will be hard, that resistance to scratching. Toughness is against to breaking, but it also has to do with how the stone is cut and the internal structure of how that is. If you drop a certain piece of jade, will it break on the floor? Yes. Some stones, though, depends on what it is. If you have a thicker, of course, more thicker something, especially bangles. I'm She's not here tonight. I bought a bangle from. I love the bangle from Tanya. I dropped it on the floor. Boop, it went on the floor. I was heartbroken. I was so upset about it, but I can't do anything about it. But lesson learned. You know, you do what you got to do because of the crystalline structure. Yep. So jadeite is more rare to find than nephrite jade. I don't have anything behind me. I'm just trying to see if I had something to show you. Yeah, I had my other piece of jadeite one. I have jade here. You guys buy everything I have. I wish I had all this stuff ready for you. But yeah, it has to do with the structure, but it also has to do with the yes, it has to do with the structure. It also has to do with the way it's cut sometimes too. But yes, answer Deborah's question. Yeah, to answer that question, Husky, yes. Yeah. So, but jadeite is more revered in as far as more precious than nephrite. They're both considered beautiful jade. It's just a different type of jade. Yeah. I wish I had the jade to show you, but I don't. Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm new. Let me ask. That's because what they're doing now, Ocean Breeze, is they're growing diamonds in laboratories to help against this environmental situation. A lot of people want to save the environment, so they don't like the fact that things are mined anymore. They want to destroy the earth, and so they came up with this. And here's the thing, you guys, and I can correct me if I'm wrong. You guys are research people here, and I know but GE, General Electric, actually has been synthesizing diamonds since 1960s. And so it's not something new, but I think the thing is they've now made it so that since the 1960s, there was always a way you could tell the difference, because when they were synthesizing diamonds, they were doing it for more of I believe they're using them for the MRI machines and medical industry. And I might be wrong on that, but that's what they were using it for. Since then, they came up with, okay, no problem, Leslie. Thank you, honey. I'm about to get off here anyway. This is fun, but this is fun. And thanks for your great show, and thank you for the welcome to my show as well. I should say the segue. Thank you, the segue to my show. I appreciate that. But anyway, yeah. So now they've at least more perfected it. It's just caught on with like wildfire, and so it's hard to detect between the two. They are a fraction of the price. As far as what I feel about it, I don't know enough about it to give my opinion about it yet. Let me just say, let's say, like anything, you just let the market do what it does. But I do know that I'm always going to have trust in my loyalty to the school I went to. So they would be more the people, like, for example, if you send a stone in to get graded to the GIA to get assessed, they will be the ones that will look at that and will give you a report. I don't have my diamond report here in my office, but they will be the ones that look at it. They will send you a report back of your stone and have the little inclusions and graft and everything like that. And then we'll say the provenance, if it's natural, it's lab grown, that kind of thing, and what kind of thing it is. And so it gives you an actual description of the whole breakdown of your stone. But from my understanding, they're a fraction of the price of natural grown diamonds. But as far as me giving my opinion about, well, do I think this is pretty? Is it just, okay, let me put it this way. If it's synthetically a diamond, if it has to call it a synthetic stone in general, gemstone, let me just put it out this way. A synthetic gemstone has the same chemical, physical, optical properties as a natural gemstone is just grown in a laboratory. So let's say that again. A synthetic gemstone has the same chemical, physical properties as a natural gemstone, except it's grown in a lab. Now, Is there a way to test the difference? Yes. I mean, some things like, for example, synthetic sapphire. One of the things we look at rubies is chromium, right? Now, rubies will typically glow really brightly if they're synthetic. Like, woo! I wish if I had like a, what can I show you? I'm just trying to see something. It glows like they glow like really. I don't have a ruby here. I don't. That's my thing. We can talk about question, but needless to say, they act in the same purity. So if you got this big, huge tennis bracelet with big, huge red stones on it, right? Is that going to be a natural ruby bracelet? I would say 99.9% of the time, no. Is that 0.1% you found the crown jewels of Persia's bracelet? Possibly. I don't know, but for the most part, you get and it says sterling silver on it, 925, and you have these big, huge, big crystals of gems going across it. And you say, well, why isn't that such a big stone? Or why is that? Because it glows, it has the chromium in it. They just grow it in a lab, or they grow them on these big long boules. So if you're a glass blower, they're going to make big long crystals and they cut them. That's how I can explain it too. When you buy a class ring from the 20s and 30s, or even back when you guys got your class rings from high school, that's made with like synthetic sapphire or synthetic spinel. And they grow them in these big long like boules. They call them a boule. And if you're a glass blower, you kind of know what I'm talking about. They grow them these big glass rods, okay? And then they cut this. Oh, sorry, I'm doing camera work again. And they grow them and they cut them down, and then you can cut them in gemstones. And I know this is a lot more for you guys to get involved with. So hopefully that makes sense to you. But there's a huge difference, of course, in price, right? Why is that? Well, Jenny, if it's going to be synthetically grown, that means they can make a lot of it at the same time, right? True. Is it still going to wear the same? Is it going to wear the same? Is it going to have the same hardness? It's going to have the same properties, and that's why you have to call it synthetic. That's the term. That's how we explain it. Now, a simulant is something that looks like a stone, but doesn't have the same properties of that gemstone. So what it means is, for example, turquoise. We're talking about turquoise. You can have a piece of plastic that looks like, or glass or something that's coated assembly of something that looks like turquoise. Totally different stuff, totally different composition, totally different hardness, totally different thing than what turquoise is, right? But it looks like turquoise, right? That's why, but because you also have to look at the demand of what turquoise is. All cultures gravitate to that stone. You look at all cultures and religions. I'm not trying to get into politics or religion of anything, but if you guys do history on turquoise, it's one of the most oldest gemstones that we've known in this world. So from Cleopatra, even prior to Cleopatra, you can look in all the different religions and history books. And if Deborah's still here, she probably would tell you the same thing. But yeah, she is still here. But yeah, so that's why turquoise is very, very hard and to decipher. Sometimes it is very hard, even sometimes for me. There are some people here in this medium that do know, are closer to the mines and know a little bit more about the specific mines and what they look like. I give them a couple shout outs. I mean, there's a few people you can ask. I know she's here right now. Colette from Slump Designs. There's also Christy from Ladies Who Loop. There's also Jody from Jody's Jewels. Those three ladies know a lot about Native American jewelry. But yeah, so that's where I would go with that. Just be careful of when you guys go out and buy something. Don't feel like you're under any pressure to buy something just because it's a great deal. Don't be under the pressure that if you buy something you can't, if you ask a lot of questions or you want to ask more details, that's what you have the right to do as a consumer. So that's all I'm going to say about that. So. My natural diamond, well, yes. Anything natural from natural ground is going to be worth more, Husky, right? Versus if it was lab grown. Correct. Yeah, so it will be. How are they going to work with that? Because think of it this way, that if it comes from Mother Nature, that is something that is the equivalent of rare. If people want to have the same physical properties of something grown, like for example, synthetic ruby, right? We know about, you guys know what synthetic ruby, you've seen them, I'm talking about those big, huge tennis bracelets you can buy. It gives you the look of a multi-hundred, $250,000 piece, but is it going to be worth $250,000? No, because there's ways you can make it very simply in very quick manner. Are there differences in lab grown material? Yes. Without going into a lot of detail, I don't want to go into a lot of detail, but you can grow it by the crystallization, which means we grow them by a slow method process, or you can grow them very quickly, which is those boules I was talking about. So, you know, I would just say that buy things, especially if you're investing on any type of purchase, you have to feel comfortable with what you're buying. If you're not comfortable, please ask lots of questions. And if you're not understanding about something, just always do your research, ask more questions. If a seller is going to be somebody transparent to you, then they should be transparent with you. And if you don't, then, you know, that, needless to say, I'd be the first to tell you that have I made mistakes in my life? Of course I have. Of course I have. And if anybody says they haven't, I don't know how anybody in life cannot be perfect. I haven't met anybody who's been perfect. So I'm just going to leave it at that. You guys can do it how you want to, how to move forward with that whole situation. So, well, there you go, Husky. There you go. She just, so that's what I'm saying. So if you go to that's what I'm saying. If you know who you're dealing with, that's, you know exactly what you're getting, right? So you've dealt with these people for a while. And if you're lucky enough to go to the mine and actually purchase your stuff, then that's awesome. I'm can you get me in? I feel like, can you get me an invite? I'd like to go. But yeah, it's, yeah. So you're welcome, Ocean Breeze. I'm about to get off, you guys. I've been on here for a while. I just wanted to come on in, and about 2 hours. This is enough time for me. I got to go to bed. I'll be up in the morning. But again, for those of you who are new here, please register prior to Tuesday's sale. Send me your information at jensgemsfinds@gmail.com. Your name, your YouTube name, your complete mailing address, your phone number, and your PayPal information. Because when we start on Tuesday, I go. I literally go. You can ask anybody in the chat, for all my new people here. I literally do not take breaks. I go on for anywhere from 4 to 5 hours. Okay. That might change once I start doing Sundays come in August. Okay. But we'll see. If you guys get involved and start asking questions, I like answering questions. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're so funny. Bye, HQZ. Did I say hello to you? And I appreciate you coming as well. Thank you, everybody, for being here. My voice is gone. Probably Husky. They won't be. Well, first of all, they won't be starting until August 10th. Okay. I'm gonna probably come on before Tanya does. So before, like Dina, that girl Dina Marie's old time slot. I think she used to come on at 2. So I'll be doing like maybe a 3-hour thing before Tanya comes on, I believe. So, you know, just to give you guys a heads up. So that's probably where I'm going to probably fall into place. All right. And Jane, thank you for coming, my dear. Nice to meet you. And also Ocean Breeze, you're new here as well. Thank you. And again, reach out to me if you have any questions. And I'm here to help you. Okay. And hopefully I also, for things that you guys, just also real quick before I go, if you see something or have seen something, I also have access to things that I don't bring up every week, such as gold. Some of my people have been here. I don't bring out the gold boxes of pieces every week, but I do have those things as well. The 2 opal pieces were new, but I also have some other things behind the scenes. So if you're looking for something even more high end than I usually carry, I do have higher priced items. I just don't want to scare everybody off. I have all price points from under $10 up to multi-$100. So I try to have something for everybody. And needless to say, when a 4 to 5 hour show, I can only maybe touch the gamut of everything. You see that I have, look, all the stuff I still have back here. I haven't even, like, I've shown this, but I still have it back here because there's things for everybody that either find my channel at a later time or for whatever reason didn't catch my show. So if there's something you're looking for a piece of jewelry and you say, well, Jen, I'm looking for such and such, I may have it already here. I just might not show it every week. Okay. So no problem. I wish you guys well. I wish you guys a great week. you guys at this channel. This is what I do here. I share love. This is my paperweight I keep on my desk, and I keep it here for a reason, to remind myself to love everybody and respect everybody, as well as, you know, keep love in your heart and soul for others. Okay. So thank you guys for your time tonight. Thank you for participating in the chat, being respectful of one another, asking questions. And hopefully you guys will come back on Tuesday and see me and my husband. Now, my husband doesn't come on camera, just let everybody know. Okay. But he likes to be here, and he does say hello. You hear his voice and things. And I will be looking forward to see one of you guys or all of you guys on Tuesday afternoon. All right. So nice kiss and love for you guys, to have a good night and a good week. And we'll see you guys Tuesday afternoon, and we'll hit the road rolling and showing all these new things I got. And I'll be working on the new things I got over the weekend. And again, like I said, it's going to be one of those things I'll get through the next few weeks with you, but enjoy the ride. This is just give you a sampling of what are the things I usually try to find. Okay. You guys have a good night.